Anthony Slater, senior writer covering Golden State Warriors for The Athletic. He was there watching Steph Curry with the Magic last night. Was it a standing ovation from the crowd in the third quarter, Anthony?
No, it actually got the loudest, I thought, in the fourth after he hit the three straight threes. I think it helped that Orlando was kind of answering back at the time because that kind of usually whips the crowd into a frenzy a little bit. But it was like truly playoff level standing cheering when he hit it, like entire arena. It felt like a home playoff game, like on Steph-made threes. It was a little strange.
When did you realize that Steph was maybe going to be on a heater?
Probably when he hit the 50-footer, to end the half, to give him 21, which, they were like playing really poorly at the time. They're down 17. He hits the bomb with, 1.5 seconds left. They're inbounding it under their own hoop to trail by 14. And it was weird. You saw the Magic like defeatedly walking into the locker room up 14. I was like, it's weird it had that type of effect. And then he came out in the third, and he was aggressive all game, but the fact he hit that one, usually he comes out and tries to at least see if he's hot early in the third, and if he is, he really puts the pedal down, and he did.
Are you surprised at this point with anything that he does?
No, not really. I mean, sometimes the age, right? He's turning 37 next month, that part, but I guess, we shouldn't be surprised by anything in the NBA anymore. What LeBron's doing at 40, with what Chris Paul's still doing in the league, at 40, Kevin Durant's, Steph Curry's age. So clearly, age isn't quite what it was in the NBA. But the other thing about Steph being around him every day, I mean, the work he puts in, the conditioning he keeps himself in, I don't leave the arena last night like, oh, wow, what a special performance. It was like, oh, Steph got hot last night. Probably get hot again. I saw him score 60 in Atlanta last year. To me, it's just bigger that he has the spirit to do it right now because he actually believes they're more of a contender than he did a couple weeks ago.
Give me the difference between the Warriors a month ago and right now.
Jimmy Butler, really. I mean, I know he didn't have a good game last night, but he brought an attitude to this team, a confidence level, a second scorer, a guy that gets to the free throw line. They're among the top teams in the league since he's arrived at, shooting free throws. And historically, including this year, they're a bottom 5 team in free throws. Mid-range, defensively, they're turning teams over like crazy, and they're not turning it over, which is what Jimmy Butler does and what the Warriors historically don't do. They turn it over too much. So he's just kind of changed the mechanics and the attitude of the team, and they're 7-1 since they got him. Prior to that, they were 13-23 over their previous 36. They hadn't won 3 games in a row since November. Now they're on a 5-game winning streak. So it's really just him.
Kevin Durant turned down the opportunity to go to Golden State. Is that a fair assessment of what didn't happen?
Yes. Yeah. I can remember trade deadline week. So it's on a Thursday. I'd say the previous Saturday to that, Steph Curry talked to Kevin Durant and kind of got the idea that he didn't want to come. And for whatever reason, both front offices, Phoenix's and the Warriors, kind of just plowed through the negotiations despite Durant's desire not to be there. From my understanding, the Warriors front office ownership group kind of underestimated Durant's coldness towards it. And then by the end, when they needed to get the final checkpoint, they had the conversation they needed to have, and we're like, oh, okay, he really doesn't want to come in. And again, I've said this before, but I think that there was a lot of collective 2019 flashbacks. They were an awesome team in 2019, but Kevin Durant was not happy to be there the entire time. I don't think anybody wanted to relive just the energy of that, so they just canceled it, pivoted to Butler, and whatever you think about the difference between Butler and Durant as a player, Butler right now is extremely happy to be on the Warriors, and I think that's a big difference. A motivated superstar as opposed to a superstar who wouldn't want to be there.
How threatening are the Warriors?
Threatening, I think that's a good word, right? I'm not ready to say contender. Maybe we can call them fringe contenders, and I think that says more about the West under Oklahoma City. I don't think it's that strong. But we've seen Jimmy Butler with a lower seed in the East playoffs drag the Heat to 2 finals. We've seen Steph Curry in 2022 without a real legitimate, number 2 star next to him, take a Warriors team that was really just kind of sum is greater than the parts type team to a championship. So those two, despite, Steph's 37, Butler's 35, Draymond's 35, their 3 best players are that old. That's what makes me doubt it still. But we have seen these, I would say 3 guys in playoff settings really raise their game. So I wouldn't want to face them if I was the 3 seed.
I'll leave you with this. What's been more impressive, what LeBron is doing or what Steph is doing?
Oh, man. Probably, I would say just probably LeBron, literally just because of the 3 extra years. I don't know what Steph's going to look like at 40. He doesn't know. He'll be past his current contract, which feels like a long way away. So, both obviously, extremely impressive. I wouldn't want to downgrade the other. But LeBron at 40 is pretty unbelievable to me.
I know you've had a busy schedule, Anthony. Thank you for making time.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Anthony Slater, senior writer covering Golden State for The Athletic.